So everyone, I'm going to ask you to please mute yourselves. Welcome to the 187th District Court. It's Friday. Let's make it Friday. Let's not try to turn it into a Monday. For all the inmates who are at the jail, you are not allowed to use your chat box. If you use the chat box, you're going to get sent back to your cell. You're not allowed to try to pick up dates. This is not The Bachelor. This is not The Bachelorette. Don't do it. Everyone, even though you're on Zoom, this is the 187th District Court. You will treat it as a court. That means there is to be no laying in bed, no hats, no do-rags, none of that. If you are unprofessional on this Zoom, you will be required to appear in court. The other thing, attorneys, if you have an agreement with Norma, she's listed as Ferguson coordinator, put it in the chat box to her. Do not announce your agreement live, put it in the chat box to her. No matter how small the agreement, send it to her so she'll know what paperwork to get to you. The other thing, please, oh yes, and Norma says no smoking. And please, do not bombard Norma with text message and emails saying, may I leave? The only person who can excuse you is me. For the attorneys, if when your name is called, that is the order in which you will appear. If you want to Zoom to another court, you're more than welcome to Zoom to another court. However, if you Zoom to another court and your name is called, you will go to the end of the line. I am going to open up
Is that it?
breakout rooms. I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. When I open up the breakout rooms, it will invite you to a breakout room. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call your name and assign you. To everyone at the jail, stop unmuting. There's too much noise coming from your end. You will get a chance to speak, I promise you. The other thing, when attorneys go to a breakout room, it is like when you have a doctor's appointment. The nurse calls you to go back, you think you're seeing the doctor, but they're really just checking your weight and your temperature. As you can tell, we have more defense attorneys than we have prosecutors. Prosecutors are able to move throughout the rooms. They will see you and they will make their way to the room. I'm going to call the names of attorneys. And then if you don't hear your name called, just let me know and I'll add you to the list. Linda Corley, Bob Hicks, Amy Owen, Suzanne Kramer, David Woodard, James Milan, Matthew Allen, John Kuntz, David Rodriguez, EQ Lee, Luis Martinez, John Fox, Therese Hunsinger, Anthony Robago, Sharon Thorne, Ron Ross, Edward Garza, George Dunbar, Carlos Ramirez, Orlando Castagnon, Ed Cano, Chris Simpkins. Is there anyone that I've missed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next page. Alma Benavides, Amy Owen, Judy Wimmer. Anyone I've missed?
Your Honor, you were calling attorneys or defendants? Because you named my client.
What is your name? Who's your
Emmanuel, Carlos Ramirez. You called his name, but you didn't call my name as the attorney.
All right, because there is an attorney named Carlos Ramirez.
Okay.
So I'll add you to the list. Anyone else whose name was not called? Okay, just 1 second. All right, the first person up is Linda Corley. Linda Corley, who do you have?
I have Jesus Hernandez, 2020 CR 7588.
Just one moment.
And today's our plea deadline.
And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
Criminal trial division. And Jordan is prosecutor. I sent you a text, Jordan.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, next person up is Bob Hicks.
Good morning, Your Honor, and how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing, Bob?
Well, I'm about to transform your Friday into a Monday.
No, you're not. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to put that in the universe. We're not going to claim it.
Okay.
Who do you have?
I received this email when I got to the office this morning about this hearing. It arrived yesterday afternoon after I had left to see a client. And there's a problem. James Ralph Campos is my client, and I was appointed on the 22nd of February to represent him on a prostitution case in the 186th.
Mhm.
This summons to be here this morning is the first I have heard of an MTR.
Okay.
I did not know one had been filed. They did not have one in the 186th. So I haven't seen a copy of the MTR. I haven't seen a copy of the court
All
summons.
right. This is what we're going to do. We're going to keep it as a Friday. And Mr. Hicks, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, and prosecutors will get you all the information.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Judge, if it's an MTR, doesn't probation need to send him all the MTR information, which we,
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Rebecca.
I
Could you,
just need
go-
his email in the chat, and
All
I can
right.
send him the MTR.
All right.
bing,
That's
boom.
just one
Thank
second.
you.
Rebecca, if you'll just go to breakout room number 2, because I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think Bob Hicks can send that over chat.
Okay.
I think
All right,
that's-
so Mr. Hicks, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, probation will get that for you. All right, Amy Owen.
Good morning, Judge. How are
Good
you?
morning. All
I-
right, who do you have?
I have Derek Garcia, who is also present on the Zoom, and we previously conferred on Wednesday with Joe Ray Garcia, and we are on a plea deadline. If we could briefly confer with him again.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Next person up is Suzanne Kramer.
Yes, Judge, I have Frank Garasso. I have been conferring with Tom, but I met with Mr. Garasso yesterday, and I'd like to confer a bit more with Tom.
Okay, how do you spell the last name, please?
Erazo. He's got a multitude of different names. Frank Orozco is what I've just landed on calling him.
Okay.
Frank, he's in jail, so he's
Okay,
one
so
of those.
It's criminal trial division?
It is. I've been dealing with Tom, but I just wanted to point out some more things to him.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 4. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, David Woodard.
Good morning, Judge. I had an add-on with Demetria Reed. She's an MTR, and we have an agreement. I think all the paperwork has been signed. So whenever the court's ready, we're ready.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 5. And could the clerk go to number 5 and see if all the paperwork is done, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We just got off the phone. We're checking on that paperwork, Judge.
All right, thank you. James Milan.
Good morning, Judge. Myself and Orlando Castañon need to be in a breakout room with Tom. We've been kind of going back and forth on some information. Okay.
What's the name of the defendant?
Mine is Andre Monjares, and I don't remember Orlando's. Orlando's client is also Monjares.
And he usually turns up, he's listed as Jose Lopez on the Zoom, but
All right, and Castañon, what's your client's name?
Jose Monjares.
All right, I'm going to send you both to breakout room number 6.
Thank you.
All right, Matthew Allen.
Hi, Judge. I'm here on Devin Perez. We have all of our plea paperwork, and I believe he's even been previously sworn in. So we're ready when
Yes.
the court's ready.
All right, just give us a moment. John Kuntz.
Good morning, Judge. I've got a couple of people on the docket. I've got an MTR on Valerie Hernandez. And then I've
Is that
got it.
CTD?
Yes, she's on probation for a DWI.
All right, and then what else do you have?
I have a bond condition violation, GPS condition violations on Trey Duncan.
Okay, just one second.
And Judge, on Trey Duncan, the violation report, I'm gonna email it to you because it's in color.
All right, thank you. All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 7, and then we'll address the Trey Duncan issue.
Okay, who's going to be in 7 with me, Judge? I'm sorry.
Someone from Criminal Trial Division.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. David Rodriguez. David Rodriguez. David Rodriguez going once. David Rodriguez going twice. Right, Hee Lee.
Judge, I have Virginia Ruiz, and I believe all the paperwork should be in.
Okay, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with the clerk to make sure that all the paperwork is there.
Okay.
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting. However, the CLO is refusing to send me the court summary to review for the hearing unless you order it.
Now you have to sign a document. Once you sign it, then they can release it. And they're doing it that way because if you're in the courtroom, usually you get it and then you return it right back to them. So it's just a document you have to sign that you're going to return it. And we'll get that to you. Hee, if you could go to breakout room number 5.
Yes.
You good? How are you?
Oh, good.
Back to you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right, Luis Martinez.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
Judge, I've got Gabriel Gonzalez.
All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
Judge, today's our plea deadline. We do have it worked out. Mr. Gonzalez is going to have to come into my office to do the paperwork for technology reasons.
Okay.
So I was hoping we could just recall this at the end of next week for a plea.
Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
on Gabriel Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
can you recall this for a plea for next week?
Yes, I can do it on Monday or Wednesday.
Let's do Wednesday.
Wednesday. I need your client's email address, please.
Okay, I'll get it.
If you can just put it in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and is he going to be doing the paperwork in your office?
That's what I anticipate, Judge.
Okay. All right. We will see you on Wednesday then,
Thank you.
or at least Judge Angelini will see you on Wednesday. And hey, I believe that's Happy St. Patrick's Day. All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. John Fox.
Morning, Your Honor. I have Robert Olivares. I think he's showing up on the Zoom as Alex Olivares, though. It's an MTR and it's criminal trial division. I don't think I've spoken with anyone. May have spoken with Tom about it or Jordan briefly, but I think this is actually a first setting on it.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Therese Hunsinger.
So, all right, now I'm on. Okay. Hey, Judge.
Hi. Who do you have?
Andres Martinez on the motion to withdraw that was filed by co-counsel Sharon Thorne.
Yes, and who is the?
It's Charles Bunk is supposed to appear. I just texted Kelly. She said Charles was going to handle it, but I don't see him on the
All right, as soon as he comes in, just remind me. Let me put Charles Bunk here, and then I'll hear it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Anthony Rabago.
I'm here, Your Honor. I have Abel Arvalo.
I'm sorry, Abel who?
Arevalo.
L-O?
Lo, yes.
Is this criminal trial division?
Yes,
Or family
it's
violence?
a robbery. Criminal trial.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 9. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Judge, this is Linda. When you're ready for me, I'm back from the breakout room.
All right, just give me a moment. All right, Sharon Thorne.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here on my motion to withdraw along with Mr. Hunsinger, and I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. Ron Ross.
Judge, I last night filed a notice of appearance as retained counsel on Salvador Hernandez. The lawyer was Joanne De Hoyos. I think they were here earlier this week. Joanne has filled me in to where we are on that. There's been offers made. I would like to talk to my client in a breakout room.
All right, is your client in custody?
He is in custody, yes.
All right, let me see if he's here. Norma, is there Salvador Hernandez here yet?
Let me check where he's at, Judge.
All right, we'll find out where he is.
Yes, ma'am.
Ed Garza?
I'm here, Judge. I'm here on Colt Boone, which he failed to appear on Tuesday. I still have not been able to make any contact with him. So I was given until today for him to appear.
And you say it's, how do you spell the last name?
Boone, like B-O-O-N-E, first name Colt.
All right, and what's the cause number? Do you know?
Yes, hold on. Well, he has several cases, but the only one that's indicted is 2021 CR 0391.
All right, let me see where the file is because I don't have it. Just give me a second.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, to the clerk in the back. I need cause number 2021 CR 0391. All right, just one moment, we'll get that for you. George Dombart.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have Ramsey Gonzalez, Your Honor, and this is a motion for to reinstate the bond or to set a bond.
Okay. Have you talked to Criminal Trial Division yet?
No, I don't believe I have, Your Honor. This was a situation in which I had talked to you about.
Just one moment. I'm sorry. 2021 CR 0391. Yes, Mr. Dunbar.
I had talked to you about it 2 Mondays ago, and the problem was that he was in quarantined, so we couldn't get him onto the Zoom, and you wanted him to appear, and so this is the first date that I was able to get him to appear.
Okay. All right. Just give me one moment. Sharon Thorne, what is your client's name?
Andre Martinez, I believe he's on, I saw his name.
And Mr. Bunk is, as you are aware, now on.
Yes, that's good.
All right, everyone, just give me a moment to sign in. Brenna, are you ready? Thank you.
Ready.
All right, I'll wait till my internet connection connects, but we'll go ahead. Just one moment. Ron Ross?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 10. Your client has appeared.
Thank you.
Mr. Hernandez, if you could go to breakout room number 10, please. Mr. Bonk, I need you to show your video, please.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready.
All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 4785A, State of Texas versus Andres Martinez. Could I have the parties announced for the record, please?
Charles Bunk, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. All right.
Charles Bunk on behalf of the state.
For the defense?
Teresa Hunsinger, Andres Martinez.
Sharon Thorne, Andre Martinez.
All right, and are you Andres Martinez? Could you unmute for me, please?
What do I know?
Are you Andres Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is in receipt of a motion to withdraw from attorney Sharon Thorne. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, we have.
All right, and Mr. Martinez, are you aware of the motion to withdraw?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense?
Yes, Your Honor. I filed this motion to withdraw after conferring with my co-chair, my co-counsel and a client. And it came to my discovery, unfortunately, it took a while, that in my prior position as a part-time magistrate judge, I had signed a warrant for the arrest of my client, and therefore this is an impermissible conflict of interest and I must withdraw.
All right, state.
We have no objections. We agree with her position.
All right, and Mr. Martinez, you understand why your counsel needs to withdraw?
Yes, I do.
All right, so I'll grant the motion to withdraw. Mr. Martinez, Ms. Hunsinger will still be your attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record.
All right,
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Ms. Hunsinger, you are excused, and Mr. Martinez, you are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
Thank you.
good
You're welcome.
weekend.
You too. All right, can I see the parties on Demetria Reed? Is there a prosecutor available? It's a motion to revoke.
I'm here, Judge. Just 1 second to pull it up.
All right, and who's David Woodard?
It was actually Jordan Brown that I was conferring with, Marcus. You may want to check with him to see what our agreement was.
Okay, you can chat it to me. Can you chat it to me?
All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 3549W, State of Texas versus Demetria Monet Reed. If I can have parties announced for the record, please, for the state.
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense.
David Andre Woodard for Ms. Reed.
And are you Miss Reed?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Miss Reed.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No objection.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Reed, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
The court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that motion with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Demetria Monet Reed who was placed on community supervision in 2018 CR 3549W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2, less than 1 gram, on April 5th, 2018 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Condition number 2, on or about the 8th day of August 2019, In Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Demetria Monet Reed, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely amphetamine, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, ma'am.
We'll waive the rest.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
I didn't hear you, David.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
Oh, no, no objection. I think my computer must have froze. I apologize.
Oh, no problem. Ms. Reed, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility, and up to a $1,500 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge, we're asking that you revoke. Sorry, 1 second. We're asking that you revoke her supervision, sentence her under 1244 to 118 days. And we're asking that she be given credit for the 118 days that she has already.
Is that the agreement?
That is the agreement, Judge.
All right, Ms. Reed, are you requesting that the court follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to jury trial? I'm sorry, are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right, then the court will follow your agreement. The court is, as previously stated, you're welcome. As previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. The court will sentence you to 118 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44 of the Penal Code. Court will find that the judgment is satisfied. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that will close the record. Ms. Reed, you need to make a decision in your life. Obviously, you have drug issues. You need to make sure that you get the help that you need. You can do AA, NA, it's free. It's all throughout the city. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, otherwise what's going to end up happening is you're going to find yourself probably in prison, or worst case scenario, not surviving it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
All right, you too, you're excused. All right, everyone, just give me.
Demetria. Judge, there was only one more thing before I left.
All right, just 1 moment, please. Everyone, just let me sign some documents. Just give me a second. All right, who's the attorney on Virginia Ruiz?
That's KQ.
Okay. All right, just you had one, I'm sorry, what, Norma?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you put Alma in a breakout room with her client, Mark Anthony School? He's in jail, Judge, to go over paperwork.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
And there's some confusion about the paperwork, Your Honor, because they're sending me paperwork to sign with an application for probation, and this is not a probation case.
All right, then just go ahead and go through with the signatures, and then I'll note that it's not a probation case.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. And what's your client's name, please?
Your Honor, I have 2 pleas this morning. One is on Mark Orozco, an inmate, and also one on Gabriel Cruz, also an inmate. Both plea, which I'm just waiting for the plea paperwork and working on that as it comes through. None of those are probation cases.
Okay. I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
I'll just resend the paperwork.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll send you to number 1, and I will send, first I'll send to you, Mr. Orozco. Mr. Orozco, if you could go to breakout room number 1 for me, please. All right, David, I'm sorry, yes, Alexandra?
Sorry to interrupt, Judge. Let's see, for Campos, I think he's in custody. Can you send him to room 2 to speak with his attorney, please?
All right, Mr. Campos, if you go to breakout room number 2. And David Woodard, you had something else you needed to discuss?
Yeah, Judge, just something real quick on Miss Reed. She was an add-on, and I know that the judgment's been satisfied, but she had a warrant, and I don't know if I need to ask the court to recall that warrant or not, or if the case being closed out recalls a warrant.
All right, I'll put on here that the warrant is recalled.
Thanks, Judge. You guys have a good weekend and be safe.
All right, you too. Wear your mask.
Will do.
All right, bye-bye. All right, on Coach Boone. Is
Yes,
there a
ma'am.
prosecutor available for Mr. Boone to hear this no-show?
I'm back, Judge.
All right, thank you. The court is calling 2021 CR 0391, State of Texas versus Colt Lance Boone. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Joey Garcia for the state.
For the defense?
Ed Garza for Mr. Boone.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, this case was originally set on March 9th. The defendant did not appear. The defense asked the court to recall it, so the court recalled it for today. This hearing was to begin at 9 a.m. It is now 9:37 a.m. Deputy Laura, Deputy Mejia, has there been a Colt Lance Boone in the courtroom at all today?
No, Your Honor, he has not.
And for the record, there is no Colt Lance Boone on the Zoom screen. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
No, ma'am, I have not. I spoke to his mother, I think Wednesday or Thursday, and unfortunately she was unable to locate him either for me. I advised her that he had missed the court hearing on the 9th, and she told me she's just not had any contact with him either. The bonding company apparently has not had any contact with him either.
State?
Your Honor, at this time, the state requests that his bond be forfeited and a warrant be issued.
All right, that'll be granted. And I will remain your client without bond. If you have any contact with your client, please let me know and the court will reconsider.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good weekend. Be safe.
All right, you too. George Dunbart.
Yes, Your Honor. We're ready.
All right, and you have Mr. Ramsey.
Yes, Your Honor. It's Ramsey Gonzalez.
Just one moment. All right, is there a Ramsey Gonzalez on the screen? Are you Ramsey Gonzalez, number 14E? Is this your client, number 14E?
Judge, when I looked, I believe that's him, but since he's wearing a mask, I couldn't see for sure. But and I also believe his wife is present in the courtroom also, Kimberly Gonzalez.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, you can talk with your mask on. You just need to say something.
Yeah,
Put your mask back on.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, this is Assault Family Second. Is Joe Ray, are you available to do this request for reinstatement of bond?
Yes, Judge, I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. Excuse me, someone needs to mute.
Judge, I send you a chat.
All right, yes, I have that. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 9380, State of Texas versus Ramsey Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Joey Garcia for the state.
for the defense?
Yes, Your Honor. George Dunbar for the defense, and Mr. Gonzalez is present, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by Zoom because of the pandemic. Any objections to us proceeding by Zoom? State,
No, Your Honor.
defense?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I got distracted from what was that question?
Any objections to this hearing taking place by Zoom?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by Zoom? Please unmute yourself. Do you
No,
have any
ma'am.
objection to this hearing taking place by Zoom?
No, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, state, the defense is requesting that the defendant's bond be reinstated or a reasonable bond be set. Defense, I'll hear your argument.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm trying to print up this court jacket, but this case was originally set during the snowstorm that San Antonio experienced, and so of course the case was the court case was canceled for that docket during that week, and then I believe it was reset or recalled to February 24th.
Yes.
But the problem is that my client, he's never received notice that he was to appear. He was maintaining contact with his attorneys, but they were not being responsive. I believe that there became a dispute between him and his attorneys about whether or not the retainer had been paid. And so he was not aware that he was to appear on February 24th, and he never received any notification on prior to or the day of. And I don't know when notification for the 24th was sent out by the court. Doesn't appear on the jacket, so I don't know when. But Your Honor, at the time he was on a GPS requirement, so it's not like he absconded or ran or anything. And what happened was a bond forfeiture was issued on the 24th, and he was immediately picked up right away. Your Honor, but our concern is that he didn't have any kind of notice to appear, and then also he suffers from several health conditions and ailments, which include liver and kidney problems. He's also required to take methadone daily. And Your Honor, when we previously discussed this about the methadone use, I didn't have an answer at that time, but he's not taking methadone for a heroin addiction. His methadone is being used as part of his pain management. And I'll be honest with you, Your Honor, I was not aware of that, but when I talked with my client about it and his wife, I did my own research, and sure enough, methadone is used for pain management, and he's been on methadone for approximately 20 years. So he's got, and it's laid out in my motion, Your Honor, but he's on these methadone, duloxetine, alprazolam, pregabalin, allopurinol, and hydrochlorothiazide. I guess that's how you'd say it. And so, as it is right now, he's not getting his methadone for sure. He's not getting actually any of his medications, and he's been
Okay, so here's my question for you, defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
The fact that you're saying he's taking methadone for pain medication, is that directly from your client and his wife, or is that from a doctor?
Well, for now, because I've only been on this case for about 10 days, Your Honor, maybe 12 days at the most. And so that is the information I have gotten from my client, Your Honor. But I as an attachment to the motion, Your Honor, I did attach a picture of the bottle, which shows that he's prescribed, and the way they prescribe it, or dispense it, I'm sorry, is that he's supposed to appear daily, because I guess since it can lead to an abuse problem. And so he receives it daily, with the exception on Saturday, I believe he receives a Saturday and Sunday dose on Saturday, but it's managed by them. And Your Honor, if I can understand, if this was a complete disregard of the court's order to appear, and I understand that there is some history of non-appearance on the court jacket, I'm not trying to ignore that, Your Honor. But if this was an intentional non-appearance, I can understand that. But Your Honor, he's being punished and for not even knowing that he was supposed to appear in court, Your Honor.
Here's the thing. We don't know what he knew, but let me just tell you what's in the jacket. What's in the jacket is September 1st, 2020, he was a no-show. Then on October 21st, it was recalled to the October 22nd. He was a no-show. December 15th, he was a no-show. Then on February 10th, defendant, it states, recently released from Bexar County Jail, defense attorney unable to contact for hearing. So it was to be recalled for February 16th for a hearing on his pretrial violation report. Then it was recalled to February 24th, and he was still a no-show.
Yes, Your Honor, and that's what I'm seeing on the jacket also, Your Honor, and I'm not disputing what's on the jacket, Your Honor. The issue I am concerned about is that due to the extraordinary circumstances of the weather, I know that the setting that was set during the bad weather was canceled, and I think there was some uncertainty even on the court's part about what it was going to do with cases and when they were going to be reset or recalled.
Let me just stop you there. There was no uncertainty from the 187th District Court about what was going to be happening in the 187th District Court. But your attorney, his prior attorney, came into court and stated he had been trying to reach his client. So what I can tell you right now, the court is not inclined to reinstate the bond.
Okay, Your Honor, and I understand that, Your Honor, and that's why we've also made a request to set a bond, a reasonable bond, in conjunction with it. And I know that the court had wanted to, after the non-appearance for the 24th, I believe it was my understanding from Mr. Rodriguez that the court had wanted a written motion and wanted his appearance before the court. And so, if I'm willing to let him testify as to the specific issues around the conditions if the court wants to hear that, Your Honor. As far as reinstating the bond, I know that I heard what you already said, Your Honor, but I do want to address that. There has been conversations.
Let me ask you this. Have you conferred with the state on a bond amount?
No, I have not, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll stop the hearing. You can confer with the state, and if you all have an agreement, I'll consider it. If you can't come to the agreement, then I'll make a ruling.
Okay, Your Honor. So I guess just for the sake of my conversations with the prosecutor, you're not willing to reinstate the bond, but you'll agree to set it to an amount.
I will not reinstate the bond at its previous amount.
Okay, Your Honor. That's why I just wanted to clarify for our discussions.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Amy Owen, are you back?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm back.
Hi. Okay, what is happening with Mr. Derek Garcia?
Judge, Joe Ray and I conferred again on the case, and we are going to be needing a trial date, Your Honor.
All right, Derek Garcia, where are you, please?
Here, Your Honor.
Hi. Okay, Mr. Garcia, your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements passed today. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, have you received all of the discovery?
I believe we have, Your Honor.
Okay, just one second. State on this case, I'll need an acknowledgement of discovery filed by March 31st. And Mr. Garcia will set you for a jury trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you are excused.
Oh, Judge, can I ask you something really quickly?
Yes.
For the discovery acknowledgement, do they email that to me and then I send it back and that's how we do it? I think we did that.
Yes.
Before. Okay.
Yes. All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a
You're
great
welcome.
weekend.
Judge, this is Linda Corley. May I approach?
Yes.
I have already talked with Jordan on the case. Today is our plea deadline on my client's case, Jesus Hernandez. He would like a trial, Judge.
All right, Jesus Hernandez, where are you?
Right here, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, my understanding is that you're requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will not accept any plea bargains in your case. Your plea deadline date has expired. Defense, have you received all of the discovery in this case?
We have asked for a couple of additional items, Judge, and they're working on that.
All right, acknowledgement of discovery will be due on March 31st, and we will set you for a jury trial. You and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Jesus, hit lead meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Norma, what page is Jesus Hernandez? Found it.
Hey, Judge, can you send Suzanne Kramer and her client to a breakout room, please?
Thank you, Norma.
Your client, Suzanne.
It's Frank Alonso.
Yeah, he's a 14B, Judge.
Okay. All right, Suzanne, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. I'm trying to find you on the screen. There you are. I'll send you to 3. And Mr. Rosa, if you go to 3, please. All right, anyone else back from the breakout room?
Yeah,
Could I confer with Alexandra again for just a minute?
Yes, Mr. Hicks, I'll send you to, let me see what breakout room you were in.
I was in 2, but you just put somebody else in there.
Yes, I'll send you to breakout room number 4.
Thank
And
you.
Alexandra, if you could go to breakout room number 4, please.
Will do.
And Ron, yes.
Yes, I need to talk to a prosecutor. We may have a resolution, but I need to talk with the prosecutor.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 11.
Thank you, ma'am.
And then I'm going to take up the plea on Virginia Ruiz. And then if everybody's ready on Devin Perez, we will do Devin Perez.
Judge.
All right.
I'm sorry, Judge. It's John Kuntz. Is there any chance you can put me in with my client Valerie Hernandez at the jail?
Yes.
Thank you.
What breakout room were you in, Mr. Kuntz?
I was in 7, Judge.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, if you'll go to breakout room number 7, please.
I don't know if
I don't see her. You say she's in custody?
Yes, she is definitely in custody.
All right, Norma, can you check on the location of Valerie Hernandez, please?
Judge, I checked on her. She's in the COVID unit.
All right, everyone, if we'll just put that in the chat box. So your client cannot make it today, Mr. Kuntz.
Then can Jordan and I talk again?
Yes.
Thank you.
If you go back to your breakout room, Jordan will meet you there. Judy Wimart, who do you have?
Isaiah Ibarra. We're here to review the evaluation and complete the sentencing.
Okay. Just give me I'm sorry, you have not
received a copy of the evaluation.
I asked for your email in the chat.
All right, we're going to proceed on Virginia Ruiz. Is there a prosecutor available?
Judge, it was Alexandra, but she's in a breakout room.
Let me see if any prosecutor is available.
I'm available. I'm back.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ruiz, you need to show your video.
I'm sorry.
Court is calling 2021 CR 0255, State of Texas versus Virginia Ruiz. If I can have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Alexandra Williamson.
for the defense.
EQ Lee.
And are you Ms. Ruiz?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
We're
Your Honor.
proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Ruiz, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, I did.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Ruiz, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ruiz, I'm showing you a document entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, that the state jail felony, the range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that if you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
She has talked to me about that, Your Honor. She is competent, but she's willing to go forward.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
Yes, she does.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Ruiz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived a right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is recommending a fine of $1,500. They're recommending deferred adjudication. There's $57 restitution to the Bexar County for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement, Ms. Ruiz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and regular UAs. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers State's Exhibit 1 and
No objections.
Ms. Ruiz, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and laboratory reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor. Well, she doesn't have much of a record. She had a state jail offense several years ago, and we're just asking that you grant her the deferred adjudication.
All right, Ms. Ruiz, I'm going to ask you some questions. I need you to be honest with me because I need to figure out what conditions to set for your probation. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the questions I'm going to ask you, know that I'm going to have you do a test anyway. If you're tested for drugs today, what are the results? And know for a fact that you are going to be tested today. So what are the results going to be?
For a UA.
And don't start with just marijuana, because everybody says that because they think it's okay to use marijuana because people are legalizing it. So what are you going to be positive for today?
I'm going to be positive for marijuana.
And what else?
That's it. That's all I do. That's all I just smoke.
All right, you're gonna get a UA today, and that UA had better only be positive for marijuana. If it's positive for something else, we're gonna have a problem. When's the last time you used meth?
I don't use meth, ma'am. Like, I just smoke weed. That's all I do. Like, I've never been charged with this type of drug or anything like that. Like, this really wasn't mine, ma'am. Like, it was in my possession. Yes, it was in my vehicle, but it was not mine. And that's the honest to God truth.
All right. You're gonna, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
3, 4, and 9.
Do they live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Child Protective Services involved?
No, Your Honor.
Have they ever been involved?
Yes.
All right. Are you employed?
No.
How are you supporting yourself?
Well, since the whole pandemic and everything started, my kids have been out of school and I don't have anybody to care for them. So I've been the only provider for them here.
I'll say, so I'm back to my question. How are you supporting them? You don't have a job.
No, well, right now I'm on Section 8 and just the help that I get from the government. That's about it. And currently right now I've filed for child support, but that's about it.
When's the last time you had employment?
I'm gonna say about a year ago, maybe. It was a little after I had my son.
Doing
it was
what?
Like a year and a half ago.
Doing what?
I think it was at Fred's Fish. I think that was my last job. It was Fred's Fish or it was Fred's Fish or J. Anthony's.
All right, they do have employees at Fred's Fish Fry. Okay, that has always been a question for everybody. All right. How far did you go in school?
I only went to freshman year to 9th grade.
Do you have a degree? Did you graduate? Did you
no, I didn't.
You have a GED?
No, I don't.
So you're just having children.
No,
the
I'm
taxpayers,
not just having children.
The taxpayers, which is everybody on this screen, is supporting them and supporting you. So I'm gonna put an end to that. This is what we're gonna do. It's $1,500 fine. $1,500 fine, that will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. You're going to do a UA today by 2 p.m. And probation, I'm going to want her tested for levels. You're going to take parenting classes because when you were out and about driving, I don't know where your children were, but they were not in the vehicle with you. You're going to have proof of employment within 30 days, 120 hours of community service restitution. You're going to obtain a GED or go to some type of trade school or do something with your life. You understand? There's going to be random UAs. And I'm going to want field visits.
Your Honor, no disrespect, but like, how are you like saying all this about me when you don't even know anything about me?
Let me tell you what I know
Like, you're
about you.
just telling
Let me
me
just tell you what I know
because I'm
about
on
you.
Section 8,
Yep.
it means that I'm living off of the government, that I'm not being a good mom to my children. That's what you're
Let me
like
ask you
saying
this.
about me right now.
Yeah,
And I
yes,
feel
I
very
am. Let me just tell you what I'm
disrespected right now.
saying. Let me ask you a question. You just told me you're going to be positive for marijuana. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing. Let's say you need a babysitter for your children.
Ma'am,
And
I
the
know
children, nope. Let me finish.
Yeah, you
Because
need to let her
you're
talk.
trying to tell me you're such a great parent. Let me ask you this. You need a babysitter for your children. She's the Mary Poppins of babysitters. She comes to your house, your children love her, and she tells you, hey, by the way, I smoke marijuana. That's all I do. And if you test me today, I'm going to be positive for marijuana. Are you letting her babysit your children? Are you letting Mary Poppins, who's telling you she's going to be positive for marijuana, babysit your children? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, well, you're the Mary Poppins who's positive for marijuana, babysitting young children, who has no job, who's had CPS in your life, who was driving around with marijuana in your vehicle. And yes, you are not supporting yourself. The people who are supporting you right now and supporting your children are taxpayers. You just told me your children, you don't have child support for them, so the father's not supporting them. You just told me you don't have a job, you're not supporting them. You just told me you're going to be positive for marijuana, so you tell me, what is the description of a good parent? Is it somebody who has no job, cannot support their own children, depending on taxpayers, and positive for marijuana?
No, Your Honor.
So that's what I know about you right now. So I'm going to help you straighten your life out. So hopefully your children will lead a different life, because right now the only example your children have on how to be a good parent is you. And the example that you have given them is, I can't support you. I need taxpayers to support you. I've chosen fathers for you who will not physically support you. I've had CPS cases, but I can use marijuana. So this is what we're doing. $1,500 fine that's probated, 2 years deferred adjudication, a UA 2-day by 2 p.m., parenting classes, proof of employment within 30 days, 120 hours of community service restitution, and that will not be waived under any circumstances. She is to do the 120 hours of community service. You're going to obtain a GED or get in some type of trade school, random UAs, and I want field visits at her house, because obviously Child Protective Services is not visiting her, and somebody needs to look out for these children. And there's going to be outpatient treatment. Is there anything else you feel you need to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, just make sure you add the 57 for Bear Lab, please.
Thank you. And $57 to Bear County for laboratory testing. Next. Oh, and the other thing, Rebecca, I'm going to want weekly Zoom reporting until further notice.
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure those field visits are at least once a month. Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. I'm sending you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. And Miss Lee, you can go to the breakout room with her if you so choose. Otherwise, you are excused.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Your
Judge-
Honor.
Judge, if I might, can I go back into the breakout room with Tom if he's available?
Yes, just give me a moment.
No worries. Thank you.
Do I turn off the video?
Rebecca and Miss Ruiz, you need to go to breakout room number 5.
Yes, ma'am.
And Rebecca, if you go to 5, please. All right, who are the attorneys on Mark Anthony Orozco?
Judge, that's Alma Benitez.
It's me, Your Honor.
All right, are you ready?
I believe we are ready on Mark Orozco, Your Honor.
All right, and Suzanne, if you go to breakout room number 4, and Tom will
Thank you,
meet you there.
Judge. Very much.
Who's the prosecutor who's available on Orozco, please?
I'm available, Judge.
All
I'm
right,
not sure.
thank you.
Is it a plea?
Yes, it's a plea. And I'll make sure I put on the record what it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Judge, I just wanted to let you know that me and the prosecutor conferred on the Ramsey Gonzalez case, so we're ready to go back on the record whenever you are.
All right, thank you. Court is calling 2021 CR 2187W, State of Texas versus Mark Anthony Orozco. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Alexandra Williamson.
for the defense?
Alma Benavides for Mr. Orozco.
And are you Mr. Orozco?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Orozco, I'm going to show you a document. Just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, to the clerks in the back, on Mr. Orozco, I don't have the document for consent to appear by video. All right, Mr. Orozco, did you sign a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video?
I'm pretty sure I signed everything, ma'am.
Did your attorney go over that document with you and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you a document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you also understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Just one moment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Counsel, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Next, Mr. Orozco, I'm showing you what's entitled Information. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, it appears that you're proceeding on the information as presented. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, Mr. Orozco, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is evading arrest or detention second or more? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Roscoe, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment is to be assessed at 9 months in the state jail facility. There are no applications. State will take in consideration NIMAC numbers 599533, County Court Cause number 654-086, 656-209. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Orozco, I'm next going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Roscoe, to the offense is charged in information. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. The state offers to take the.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Roscoe, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Did you understand today that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we're just asking the court to follow the plea bargain agreement that we've entered into with the state.
All right, Mr. Roscoe, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 9 months in the state jail facility. Taking consideration NIMAC number 599533, County Court Cause number 654-086, 656-209, and give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Roscoe, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Roscoe, good luck to you. I also want to let you know on the record, court, Mr. Roscoe, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Roscoe, my understanding is there's one final document for you to sign that's in the system.
Okay.
Could you have the deputy help him with that, please?
Yes, ma'am. I will call him back.
All right, are we ready on, Wait, I'm sorry, Alma
Yeah, boss.
Benavides, you had another client?
Yes, Your Honor, I've got Mr. Gabriel Cruz.
All right, what breakout room were you in?
I was earlier in breakout room 1.
Okay, if you will go back to breakout room number 1, and I'll send that client to you.
All right, Your Honor, I do have a question.
Yes.
With regard to the paperwork, I just want to make sure that we got the numbers, the case numbers correct, because I understood that one of these cases was going to be TIC'd, and it's a different case number that's on the paperwork. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Okay, I'll send you to, I'm sorry,
I'll go
yes.
to the breakout room, Judge.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1, Alma. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send Mr. Cruz to breakout room number 1 as well. And are we ready on Mr. Perez?
It's me, Judge. I'll just be 1 second.
All right, thank you.
Judge, since we're waiting on that, could you send me back to the breakout room that my client is in, Frank Arazo? I think Norm said he was 14B, but he's in a breakout room.
All right, he's in breakout room number 3. And and I'll send you to 3.
Judge Salvador Hernandez, can I go back to the breakout room with him? We have an agreement, but I need.
All right, and that's Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, it is, Salvador. Thank you.
All right, let me just find him, just one moment. All right, I'll send you back to breakout room number 10.
Judge, whenever you get a chance, I just got in the Zoom and I need to speak with a family violence prosecutor.
What's your client's name?
Jose Izaguirre. He's at the jail, Judge.
Okay, spell the last name for me.
Isaguirre.
Okay, I was close. All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. All right, just one moment. John Fox, you're back on Mr. Olivares?
I am, Judge. And if you could send me to a breakout room with him, he's listed as Alex Olivares on the screen.
All right, what breakout room were you in, Mr. Fox? Number 8, if you'll go back to number 8.
I want to say 8, yes.
Yes. And Mr. Olivares, I'll send you to number 8.
Okay, ma'am. Sounds good.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. Just 1 second. Hang on.
Yes, he needs to sign the consent to appear by video. He signed everything else.
Okay, let me look for it.
All right, thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it.
No problem, ma'am.
Judge, I believe
Judy
we've
Wemmert,
reached
I'm
the
ready
agreement.
on.
All right, everyone, just give me one moment, please. Let me just clear out my inbox. Otherwise, emails won't come through. And as everyone patiently waits, remember it's Friday. So when you feel yourself losing patience, remember it's Friday. All right. Judy Wemmert.
Yes, ma'am, we are ready on to finish the sentencing Isaiah Ibarra.
All right, let me just check and see if probation is there. All right, just give me one moment. Marcus, are you here? Marcus Sanders?
Yes, Judge, I'm back.
All right, are you ready on Mr. Perez?
Yes.
All right, everyone, I'm going to take up Mr. Perez first because I need to have him leave the screen, and he's in custody.
I do a chat. Oh, he did? Okay, right. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Put in a chat with the case number. Let them know that I'm finishing up in the criminal court.
And everyone, if you could please mute for me, please. All right, Marcus, is there going to be a co-counsel in this or no?
No, Judge.
And there's a plea on 2 cases, correct?
Correct.
All right, Brenda, this is going to be 2 cases.
That's fine, Judge.
Thank you. Court is calling 2021 CR 1926W and 2021 CR 1927W, State of Texas versus Devin Seth Perez. We're going to have both parties announced for the record. For the state, please.
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense.
Matthew Allen.
And are you Mr. Perez? If you could unmute for me, please.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections to us proceeding by video? State?
No objection.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Perez, in each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you documents entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you electronically sign them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cases, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver Indictment, Reading of Information, and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you electronically sign them in the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that you have a right in each of these cases to have a grand jury review the evidence and make a decision on whether or not to indict in each of these cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you also understand in each of these cases, your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand by entering a plea bargain agreement in each of these cases, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights in each of these cause numbers and enter a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information, and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Defense, in each of the cases, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. In each of the cases, have you received all the discovery and have you reviewed that discovery with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
And in each of the cases, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Perez, in each of the cases, I'm showing you what's entitled information. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cases, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, in each of the cases, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Perez, in each of the cases, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, you're charged with the offense of aggravated assault against a public servant. That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement in either of these cases, you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just one moment. In each of the cases, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? You're muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, did you understand by entering a plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, in each of the cases, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Your Honor.
In each of the cases, do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Pettis, in each of the cases, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter your plea?
No, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter the plea?
No, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor. Very satisfied.
In each of the cases, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cases, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 25 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. There are no applications. Each case will run concurrent. In each case, the state will be taking in consideration 2019 CR 12729, 2000 CR 12975, 2019 CR 12974, 2019 CR 12976B, and there's to be restitution to Adam Azua, AZUA, and cause number 2021 CR 1926W, Eric Ramirez, and cause number 2019 CR 12729. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement in each of the cause numbers, Mr. Pettis?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement in each of the cases?
Yes, Judge.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement in each of the cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cases, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in each of the cases?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counselor, have there been any such motions in either case?
No, Your Honor.
Then, Mr. Pettis, in 2021 CR 1926W, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And in cause number 2021 CR 1927W, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
State, do you have any evidence to support the defendant's plea in each of these case numbers?
Yes, the state offers States Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any
No
objections? Mr. Pettis, in each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them and did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand in each of these cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand in each of the cause numbers that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, and each of the cause numbers, cause number 2021 CR 1926W, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. And cause number 2021 CR 1927W, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Devin is, I believe, 18 years old now. He's a young man who, as you can see, had about a period of about 6 months that was just one mistake after another, to say the least. He was examined by a forensic neuropsychologist, Dr. Fabian. And in speaking with Dr. Fabian, Devin had shared that he had witnessed domestic violence from a young age, from his father to his mother. He was split from siblings. He was taken away from his mother at one point by CPS and put into the care of his father. He's witnessed drive-bys, guns and drugs in his neighborhood. Growing up, he had some speech impediments. He was in special education courses, didn't have a lot of friends growing up. And then the first incident happened, which was an accident, but obviously very reckless and takes full responsibility for that. And it just sent him deeper into a deep depression, where he had suicidal ideations. He had to be taken. He was put into care for that. But Dr. Fabian found he suffered from PTSD, complex trauma, bipolar disorder, again, depression. And then came to the incidents that Mr. Pettis has taken a plea on today. He's still a young man. He did admit to the offense to his mother, who called the police immediately to turn himself in. And then Devin, when he met with the detectives immediately after, told them everything as well. And again, in speaking with Devin, obviously 25 years is a long time, but he realizes the severity of his actions. And we just asked the court to accept the plea. He's gotten his diploma for high school while he's been in jail, actually. I do think that Devin can be productive and can lead a good life when he comes out. But again, he just wants to say on his behalf, he takes full responsibility. He's very apologetic for what happened. He knows that doesn't make up for what he did. But again, he hopes to show the court that he can serve his time, and when he comes out, that he will not be back. And that's all, Judge.
All right, Mr. Pettis, is there anything you wish to say?
Not really, Your Honor. I just want to say sorry for my actions. Sorry for putting you in this position to judge me and being judged by the state. But I do accept my actions, and I do accept everything that I'm being given.
All right. And cause number 2021 CR 12, I don't know why I keep saying 12, Brenda, 1926W. The court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 25 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. This is run concurrent with 2021 CR 1927W. Taking consideration 2019 CR 12729, 12975, 12974, 12976B. Restitution to Adam Azua in 2021 CR 1926W, to Eric Ramirez in 2019 CR 12729, and court will give you credit for any time served. And cause number 2021 CR 1927W, the court will sentence you to 25 years in prison. Affirmative finding of deadly weapon, concurrent with 2021 CR 1926W. Taking consideration 2019 CR 12729, 12975, 12974, 12976B. There's to be restitution to Adam Azua and 2021 CR 1926W, and to Eric Ramirez and 2019 CR 12729. You receive credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Judge, not for sentencing.
And
No,
each
Your
of the cause numbers, I'm showing you, Mr. Ruiz, what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you electronically sign those in both places?
Yeah. Yes, I did, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And also, because this is a felony conviction in each of these cause numbers, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Ruiz, you're at a crossroads in your life. You can either come out of prison and end up going right back to prison. At some point in time, your actions are your own. They're not the fault of your parents. Even though your parents may not have been good parents, at some point, you're responsible for your own actions, and you can no longer blame that on your parents. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
So whatever programs they have at the prison to help you move past that, you need to start taking. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
All right, State, are there any victim impact statements?
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Perez, there's going to be victim impact. You, and in this court, in the 187th, I require that everyone treats everyone with respect. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So people are going to say things to you, internalize it, okay?
Okay. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who is here to speak? Defense?
It's Cynthia Ayala.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Ayala. I'm Eric Ramirez's mom. Although this is really hard for me, just know that we do forgive you, Devin. We know that you are young. It's not okay what you did, but we do forgive you. You might have taken Eric's life physically, but mentally and spiritually, he's closer to God now, and he's a better man now. He will walk again soon. And I just hope that if you do come out of this, you are a better man because of it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other victim impact?
That's all, Judge.
All right. All right, Norma, can you let them know they can take Mr. Perez back?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
You have a good day as well. And did anyone need to speak with Ms. Ayala before she leaves?
No, Judge, we'll call her.
All right. All right, Ron Ross, you've been patiently waiting.
We're ready. Tom is the ADA.
All right, and that's Hernandez. What are we doing for Mr. Hernandez?
It's going to be a 1244.
Okay, I'm just waiting on paperwork then.
Judge, it's an MTR, and I think Ron did the certification of appeal, and that's the only one.
All right, and is that Salvador Hernandez?
Yes, Your Honor, on the recall docket page, the second page of the recall docket in the middle.
Okay, the only problem is I don't have any of that. To the clerks in the back?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, do you have any of the documents on Salvador Hernandez?
No, Judge, I don't have any documents under that name.
So has anyone?
I'll see where they're at, Judge.
All right, and I'm just seeing some paperwork that's coming to me, but it's not related to this case. Everyone, just give.
I'm sorry, Judge. It's in the defendant's email.
It's in your client's email.
Do I need to go to
I'm going to send you. Yeah, I'll send you to a breakout room.
Help him fill it out.
So that you can sign that for him.
Judge, whenever you get a chance, I need to confer with my client.
All right, just give me one moment.
And Judge, we have an agreement on Mr. Gonzalez. If I know you're Work
No, no,
counsel.
no, no, just give me one moment.
Okay.
So Ron Ross. Where did Ron Ross go? All right, he's back with his client. All right, George Dunbar, you say you have an agreement.
Yeah, Judge, I conferred with the prosecutor and I don't recall his name. Well,
that's hurtful to them, probably.
I'm sorry.
I said that's probably hurtful to them. You don't remember their name.
It's Friday, Your Honor. But you had asked us to confer. We had reached an agreement of a $40,000 bond, Your Honor. I understand. Okay. And
all right, and what has happened? I'll follow your agreement. And Mr. Gonzalez, where are you? You need to unmute.
I'm here, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, Your
You're going to
Honor.
be back on GPS. And let me explain something to you. I received a 4th violation report for your GPS. I don't want to receive a 5th. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I apologize.
And when you're on GPS doesn't mean you get to travel wherever you want to go. You understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
If you do not follow the rules, we're going to be right back here. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize.
don't apologize. Do better.
Yes, ma'am.
Follow the rules.
I will, Your Honor.
Your Honor, if I may, I was going to ask if you would consider waiving the GPS and also make it as a condition of his bond that he be required to appear in person in court as opposed to Zoom.
No, he can appear in person or everybody here, I always tell them, they can appear in person or on Zoom. Mr. Gonzalez just chose not to appear at all.
I didn't know,
And
Your
I
Honor.
am not taking him off the GPS because he hasn't appeared for like 3 or 4 times. No, you're going to remain on GPS. Do you understand?
Your Honor, would you consider waiving the fees for the GPS though?
The fees have always been waived by me. And Norma, let's give Mr. Gonzalez a reset right now. And Brenda, we're going to go on the record so nobody can come in and say that Mr. Gonzalez didn't know his new court date.
And that's what I was going to suggest also, Your Honor, is that we go on the record so that
we're about to right now. The court is calling 2019 CR 9380 State of Texas versus Ramsey Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the state?
Joey Garcia for the state.
For the defense?
George Dunbar for the defendant.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Gonzalez, set him on this case for the first week in April and put it on an in-person day.
Oh, Judge, in the system, it was already set for March 22nd. Do you want me to just change it?
Yes, change it to the first week in April.
April 7th.
All right, that's April 7th, Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes,
it's at
ma'am,
9 a.m. You can appear by Zoom or you can appear in the courtroom. It's the 187 District Court, 300 De La Rosa, 4th floor. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
And he is still going to be on GPS?
Your Honor. May I speak, Your Honor?
Does your attorney want you to speak?
Not a good idea.
Your Honor, that's fine. Just going on the record, I'm reiterating that his case has been reset to April the 7th. I just want to also go on the record that I only represent him for this assault case. And so I'm not aware of what other settings he may or may not have on any other cases. I believe they're both pre-indictment cases, but I just wanted to clarify that. So, but for the assault, it's the assault second case is what's set for April the 7th, Your Honor.
What I can tell you is all of the other cases are going to appear on that day as well. So whoever his attorney is on those other cases will show up.
That's fine, Your Honor. I just wanted to go on the record that I'm just, that he's receiving notice on the record and that so that there's no confusion about the April 7th date for this case.
All right, with that, closing the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be
You're welcome.
excused?
Yes.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you, Your
week.
Honor.
Have a
Norman,
good
you
week,
can let
Your
them
Honor.
know that he can go back.
Yes, ma'am.
God bless you, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
I'll accept your God bless you, but let me explain something to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't try to give me flowery statements. Just do what you're supposed to do. If
I
you're
will, Your
supposed to report, report.
Yes, Your Honor, I will.
All right, John Fox.
Yes, ma'am. I think we've worked something out, Your Honor. I need to reset this for the MTR. It's going to be a revocation. Mr. Olivares will be coming into court live to be taken into custody. Do I understand, Judge, that are you out next week or?
Yes.
Okay, can I do the 24th of March for that? Will you be back on that?
Norman, can we recall this for either the 24th or the 25th?
Actually, if you could do 24th or 26th, that would be great.
No, our in-person days are 24th and 25th.
Oh, okay. The 24th would be fantastic if you can do that.
He's going to be taken into custody?
Yes.
Can we do it next week, you said, or he just?
Yeah, the 24th would be better.
Oh, okay, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Judge, whenever you get a chance, I need to confer with my
That's fine. The
client.
24th is fine.
All right,
20
Mr. Olivares,
Yes, ma'am.
you're going to need to be in court on March 24th at 9 a.m. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's the 187 District Court. We are on the 4th floor. It's 300 De La Rosa.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, see you then.
See you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Robert, you're free to go.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge,
Ruben, you need to speak to your client.
Yes, Judge. I was in breakout 2 before.
All right, Mr. Izagiri, if you go to breakout room number 2, and Ruben, if you'll go back to 2.
I think
Ron.
I think we're ready.
All right, let me see if I have any paperwork.
can I just say one thing real quick, just to update you?
Yes.
I have got Frank Arasso in the breakout room still. I've chatted Tom that we'll take the offer. I need to run to the 144th real quick, and then I'll be back while I guess the paperwork's being done. It's an MTR and a new number 1, please.
Can you chat me your email address, please?
I certainly will. And but I'll leave, Judge, and I'll be right back.
Thank you. And to the clerks in the back, you should have the paper coming on Mr. Hernandez.
Okay, Judge, can I swear in Gabriel Cruz?
All right, let me see what breakout room he's in, Jessica. Mr. Cruz? Gabriel Cruz?
What's up, man?
All right, Jessica, you can swear him in.
Hector Garza, if I could have talked to you in a second.
Jessica, I'm going to send him to breakout room number 4.
Okay, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cruz, go to breakout room number 4.
How do I do that?
Okay, just stay there. Jessica, can you swear him in from here? Just 1 second, Mr. Cruz.
All right. Hey, mom, you've been checking the shit out of everybody.
Mr. Cruz, can you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
Are you the defendant in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you went over this plea bargain with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Are those your signatures?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go over the steps and exhibits with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everyone, just give me 1 second, please.
I'll do my angels.
All right, Ron, they're getting me the paperwork on you.
Okay.
Orlando Castagnon, and who were you with on Miss? You were with?
James Milan. I was just sending Norma a message that I do have 2 settings at 11. I left Mr. Milan in the waiting room. I was going to go make appearances and I'll be back.
All right, what's happening on your case?
We're waiting to confer with Tom.
Okay. All right, and Lorraine Efron, who are you here for?
David Rodriguez.
And is it family violence or criminal trial division?
CTD. And we're here on a violation report for Scram, but I thought if I could have an opportunity to confer with an ADA, maybe we can work something out.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. A prosecutor will meet you there.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Hector Garza. You're muted.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I needed an approach on a bond or revocation.
All right, just one moment. Anthony Ravago.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have Abel.
Yes, I've confirmed with Jordan on the case, and we need a reset to make victim contact. And then I'd like to speak to Mr. Arvalo after that, if that's possible.
All right, Mr. Arvalo. Norma, can you recall this within 30 days, please?
Yes, ma'am.
We're going to speak to the judge.
I can do April 8th, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on April 8th. At that time, the state will give you an offer, and then I will give you your plea deadline dates. And Mr. Arvalo, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4 with your attorney.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And after you speak to your client, could you please bring him back to the main room?
I'll do that.
I don't want to move. I'm not good with computers.
Yeah, mine too. I'm already bald. I'm already. I'm 53 years old already. What is this? What is? Kill.
All right, and Ron, they're just bringing me your paperwork, so just give me a moment.
Sure.
I appreciate your patience.
Well, I see you got your hands full.
Hey, but you know what? The staff is great. Great. Okay, on Gabriel Cruz, we're missing the certification of appeal and defendant's consent to appear by video.
I'll check that, Judge, right now.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I probably need to go into a breakout room with Mr. Campos and have him sign his certificate of appeal.
All right. Let me find you on the screen. Just one second, Mr. Hicks. Okay, Mr. Hicks, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5.
Thank you.
And Mr. Campos, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 5 with your attorney to go over paperwork. Let me see what breakout room he was in.
He takes it for the last 20 years, sir. Yeah, that's right. How come they still, they never erased any cases like mine, from a long time ago?
Thank you, Mr. Campos. If you go to breakout room number 5 for me, please. All right, Hector Garza, you said there's a bond issue or something?
I have a client who was, there was an MTR issue. She was remanded.
Who's your client?
Appreciate it, sir.
Her name is,
Now I can see.
it's spelled Eulia. Last name is Avila. I can give you the cause number.
No, is it on to docket for today?
Oh, no, ma'am. This is not something I needed to approach on because she was picked up yesterday.
All right, well, just give me a moment. Let me take care of things on the docket. Judy Wimmert, you're back?
Yes, ma'am. Power failure. Sorry.
No problem. And what's your client's name?
Is he Isaiah Ibarra?
Okay, and that one, what is the update on the evaluation?
Judge, I'm not good at interpreting these. I don't know that it gives a recommendation except for further evaluation is recommended. He's recommended for treatment in a structured environment. He has schizophrenia. And
Okay.
it's not-
All right, let me see what the agreement was. Just 1 second.
Judge, and I emailed you everything earlier.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Ms. Reyes, I just don't understand. I mean, I can read it, but I'm not familiar with it. He's got some issues. Let's just say that.
Yes, I know. Okay, there's no box checked on whether or not they want a Mick Myoff, like whether or not he's eligible or they've accepted him. Do we know, Rebecca?
No, that's, I was gonna reach out to her because I didn't understand if she recommended it or not.
Okay, Judy, we have to see whether or not she's recommending that for your client or not. So if you will put some more remove some patience from your pocket, just sprinkle it around your desk for a little bit. We're gonna find out, okay?
No problem. I'm keeping busy. I got Judge Sakai on my other computer, so I'm no problem, Judge. I'm here.
All right, thank you. Norma, I've signed that document for consent on Gabriel Ramos. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
I got it, Judge. I overwrit the system.
And then
he's missing his consent, I mean, his certificate of appeal, but I have a deputy helping him out. And
okay, awesome.
Hernandez, he's also missing his consent and it's still sitting in his email, but I'm gonna send a deputy over there to help him.
All right, thank you, Norma. Ruben Flores, you're back? Ruben Flores, you're on mute.
Sorry about that, Judge. I always forget to unmute myself.
Oh, that's okay.
I have an agreement with the state judge. I believe I was talking with Raul in family violence. So we need to get the paperwork going.
Okay, who's your client?
Jose Izaguirre.
All right, state, can you get the paperwork done on that?
Yes, Mr. Flores, can you chat me your email, please?
I will.
John Kuntz, you're back?
Hey, Judge, yes. We kind of have a sort of an agreement with the state, with Jordan. Is Jordan on? There he is.
I'm here.
On Valerie Hernandez?
Yes.
So, Judge, there is a complication. She's COVID positive, so she's in the COVID unit, not being brought over. We had an agreement that had the court followed it, would have resulted in her being released from jail today or tomorrow as soon as they processed her.
Mm-hmm.
We have an alternative proposition where she's going to agree to alter and amend conditions to what we were going to recommend, and we'll withdraw the motion. Obviously, that comes with some complications. You would have to withdraw the motion, I guess sign the withdrawal.
Mm-hmm.
She would have to have a date certain for probation after her COVID quarantine to sign the conditions. And we're not entirely certain how jail processes COVID positive people, whether they process them out or not. I would think they would have to if they're not being legally held, but.
Oh, just 1 second. Who's screen sharing? Just give me one. I don't know.
It's probably the deputy judge. He probably brought it up by accident.
Yeah, let me take care of that. Okay. I'm sorry, Jordan.
Yes, Judge.
John, you all are saying you want to withdraw the motion and alternate amend conditions. What are we?
Yes.
What are you suggesting an alternate amend to?
So she's been on probation for about 1.5 years on a DWI third. She had alcohol use, one failed the test. There are 3 or 4 allegations, but those are basically the gist of it. So the suggested disposition that we were going to propose, the agreement, was going to be a 10-day jail sanction, which she's been in custody for 10 days today. Intensive outpatient, Alcoholics Anonymous and or an equivalent alternative, and she needs to get her in-home device, which even after the motion was filed, she still had, but it went into lockout on February 25th, about a week before she was arrested. She would need to have gotten that reinstated by Monday. Basically, the proposal now is all of those things except for the jail sanction. Withdraw the motion instead of hearing the motion, and then give her a date 2 weeks from today by which she needs to report to probation, sign the new conditions, and have her in-home monitoring device reinstated by that point.
That's correct, Judge.
All right. So what I'm thinking, Rebecca, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
On Valerie Helene Hernandez, the state wants to withdraw the motion. And if we can alternate amend conditions to do intensive outpatient treatment with her, and she's to report to probation upon release from custody. And if she's released on the weekend, then she needs to report to probation the next business day, which will be Monday.
She's COVID, so she'd either need to wait 2 weeks or she would need to report by Zoom.
I don't think they're going to release.
We don't know the answer to that question. I mean, ultimately, it's a moot point if they don't release her.
You want me to call the jail real quick, Judge? I can find that out.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
call
let's
quick.
find that out. But if you send it, I'm inclined to do a, sign the motion to withdraw, to do intensive outpatient treatment. And Rebecca, if she tests positive again, she needs to go to felony drug court.
Judge, she's not qualified for felony drug court.
Oh, why not? What's the reason?
She's something about medical conditions. I think it's in the court summary. Let me pull it up for you.
Okay.
Due to medical issues preventing her from performing felony drug court required services is what the court summary says. So you had initially ordered her to do felony drug court. So she was in it for some period of time. So she was testing regularly, like every other day, basically for a while. But for whatever reason, which is not specified in there, she's no longer a qualified candidate for the program.
All right, John Kuntz.
Yes, ma'am.
If your client comes back here for using alcohol, then that tells me that intensive outpatient treatment is probably not enough for her.
And then she can come stay with you at your house, right?
You know what, John? I have been to your home and I think you have extra room there. I don't have any extra room.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
No,
So it's,
I will explain that to Valerie and her family. I've known Valerie for a long time now, and I'll just tell you, Judge, she's had a really tough last few weeks. The father of her younger children passed away from COVID a few days ago, and some other things are going on. So it's been a tough time for her, but I'm sure she'll get with the program.
all right, so I'm going to alternate amend, then I'm going to want an alternate amendment to include intensive outpatient treatment. She needs to do AA meetings at least 3 times per week. If she needs more, she can do more, but at least 3 times a week. And I'm going to want her reporting to probation weekly. And if she is medically unable to appear in person, then that can be by Zoom. And she is to obtain some type of monitoring device. And Rebecca, whichever is least expensive. There's to be no driving.
Okay.
Judge, if I may, John can't keep anybody in his house because he's already got 3 of his clients living with him already.
Okay.
Shut up, Ruben.
I send you a chat.
All right. All right. Thank you, Norma. So it's gonna, Norma says she'll be released. So it's gonna be, she's gonna report weekly by Zoom until she reports in person.
And just so I'm clear, when you say she'll be released, obviously the jail's not going to hold her in until she completes her quarantine. They're going to release her upon the signing of this
They're
withdrawal.
gonna release her upon society. Hopefully they will release her with a mask.
Correct. They can't keep her.
Yeah, that it would surprise me if they said, no, we're not going to let her out. So yeah, okay.
All right, so with that,
Thank
you are excused and she is not to drive.
I appreciate it, Judge. I'll talk to the family and let them know before she gets out. But also, Tom and I have a case that if we could confer on briefly, can you put in a breakout room?
All right, I'll see you. Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you, Jordan, by the way.
You are greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay. This is so, you're so awesome. If you go back to room number 7. All right, everyone, Jessica, the clerk, is back and she's like, they're ordering lunch, just give me your order. What do you want? I'm like, oh.
I'll have a salad with Thousand Island, please.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm hungry.
Do you know how hard it is to find Thousand Island?
Hey, try and find shrimp sauce on the west side. They look at me like I'm from a foreign planet.
Okay, well, I tell you what, then that's a gap over there and you need to make it happen.
Oh, a white girl making something happen on the west side? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, you can make it happen. I'm going to, my big idea, and hopefully no one will steal it. I'm going to Europe and I'm going to sell ice because for some reason they will only give you a cube of ice.
Go to the Castellano courts. Go to my mom's house.
Judge, can I talk to you in a breakout room, please?
Yes, just give me a moment.
Go to the west side where I live at.
Quiet, please. Quiet. All right, Rebecca, is this on Miss Hernandez?
No, on the PSI, Ibarra.
Okay, just give me 1 second. Salvador Hernandez, are we ready on Salvador Hernandez?
I hope so. I think so.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, where are you? Salvador Hernandez?
Hello.
Thank you. All right, Brenda, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 1907W, State of Texas versus Salvador Hernandez. Could I have the parties announced for the record, please?
Tom Nisbet for the state.
Ron Ross for defendant, we're ready.
All right, and are you Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
None from the state.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you a document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Salvador Hernandez who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2018 CR 1907W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, on February 21st, 2018 for a period of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Judge, let me just pull it up. Condition number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant Salvador Hernandez did then and there fail to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of August, September 2020 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objections.
Mr. Hernandez, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there an agreement?
There is.
Yes, there is, Judge. Pending the court's approval, the parties are agreed to a revocation with adjudication, but under section 1244B and assessing 45 days in the Bexar County Jail and giving the defendant credit for whatever back time he has.
Is that the agreement?
It is, Judge.
Is that a judgment satisfied or no?
Probably is. Should be. Yes, he has 15 days credit in time. So if he gets, he's a trustee, so I don't, you know.
Judge, it's a up to the sheriff scenario.
Exactly.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then, as previously stated, the court is finding violation of condition number 5 true. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 45 days in the Bexar County Jail under 12.44B of the Penal Code, give you credit for any time served. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
That's all.
Mistake.
Mr. Hernandez, I'm showing you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, good luck to you. If you're going to be released into the public, do right. Otherwise, you're going to end up back where you are, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Ross, you are excused. Thank you for your patience.
Judge, have a good weekend. Tom, have a good weekend.
Yes.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right,
Judge.
Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Hernandez can go back?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Who is the attorney on James Campos?
I am
Who is I am?
Bob Hicks. And he should be ready.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Your Honor, what breakout room is James Milan in?
James Milan is in breakout room number 6.
Thank you.
And Alexandra was my prosecutor, Judge.
Alexandra, are you there? All right.
What's going on? What case is it? I'll see if I can jump in.
Oh, it's a motion to revoke.
Campos.
Yes.
Let me see if she put notes about what the plea was.
I'm here.
Okay, never mind.
Hello, Jordan.
Hello.
All right. Court is calling 2018 CR 10400, State of Texas versus James Ralph Campos. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Alexandra Williamson.
For the defense?
Bob Hicks for Mr. Campos.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state? Any objections from the defense?
None from the defense, Your Honor.
Mr. Campos, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you a document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same James Ralph Campos Jr. who was placed on community supervision in 2018 CR 10400 for the offense of prostitution with third or more on May 10th, 2019 for a term of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state.
The defendant violated condition number 1 on or about the 20th day of February 2021 in Texas. The defendant, James Ralph Campos Jr., committed the offense of prostitution third or more in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Not true. Or actually, it's true because it's on document, but
All right, so are you pleading true or not true?
true.
All right, state.
The state will waive all remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
Certainly not.
Just one moment.
Okay. That's not my case.
No, it's not. Just 1 second. All right. Any objections to the state's waivers?
Certainly not, Your Honor.
Mr. Campos, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking you to revoke the defendant's probation and sentence him to 1 year in the state jail facility. The state will TIC Nightmag 603425.
Is that the agreement?
It is.
All right, Mr. Campos, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow the agreement that's been reached. The court will sentence you, will grant the motion, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration Nightmag number 603425. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Campos, good luck to you. You know, this type of charge, there's nothing good that can come of it. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you need to do better. I sent you to Esperanza Court, but you were not successful. All right? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Mr. Hicks, you're excused.
Thank you,
Normally,
Your
can you
Honor.
let them know that Mr. Campos can go back, please?
Have a nice weekend.
All right, you too.
Thank you.
Rebecca, you needed to see me in the breakout room.
Yes.
All right, everyone, just give me one moment. Rebecca, I'll meet you in breakout room number 1.
Okay.
All right, Judy, on your client.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what I'm being told is they're a little bit behind because of the storm. So he still needs a Takami evaluation.
Okay.
So Mr. Ibarra, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if we can recall you. And Norma, can you recall him for the second week in April?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
All right, and Mr. Ibarra, I just want to make sure that you have conditions that are able to help you, okay?
Is he on, Judge?
Yes, he's at the top of the screen.
Hmm.
Could you unmute Mr. Ibarra?
Yes, ma'am.
There he is.
There he is. Okay. Okay.
Judge, I can do April 7th.
All right, we're going to come back on April 7th, Mr. Ibarra. And by then, if I don't have a evaluation from Takami, I will have figured out something else to help you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, you're excused.
Thank you.
Norma, can you let them know he can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Tom, any update on Mr. Manharis?
Yes, Judge. On both of them, really the content of the discussion is between myself and Mr. Milan. He sent me a several-part email with a number of pieces of evidence. Due to a language barrier, I am using DA staff to go through it. It's just because the last couple of days we've been busy, I have not had a chance to do it. So Mr. Milan and I are going to work diligently off docket to probably resolve all the Manhares cases. However, I need a regular reset to do it, just to give me time when we have like a down day or two, and maybe even next week, so I can go through all the Spanish stuff.
All right,
Judge,
Norma.
Up 500 screenshots, and there's video, and I mean it's a lot of information.
Is it really 500 screenshots? You're sure it's not 490 screenshots?
I think it's 485 actually, but I said it's close.
See, people rounding up. Norma, on both the Manhares, can you give that a 45-day reset? Will you? Is that enough time for everyone?
Perfect, Judge. Thank you.
And Judge, on my case, I'm already starting to get some of the paperwork on it, and I've been signing it, which means it's gone to the jail. If you could put me back in a breakout room with Frank Garasso.
All right. Let me
Thank
see
you.
where he is.
Is that enough time?
I'm sorry, when?
April 30th?
Yes,
Perfect.
April 30th is good. And Suzanne, what is your client's name?
Frank Garasso.
Trying to find him on the screen.
I think, Judge, if memory serves, he might have been in breakout room 3, maybe.
Yes,
he's
he
still
is
in the breakout
he's in
room.
3.
Okay. I just need a link to that since I left. Thank you.
All right, there you are. Everyone, just 1 second.
Judge, Your Honor, I'll be right back.
Yes. All right, James Milan, you and your client are excused.
And is Orlando Castañon and his client excused as well? I can let
Yes.
Orlando know, go to another court.
And Mr. Jose Manhares and Andre Manhares, you're to be back on April 30th.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right, Ed Cano, thank you for your patience.
Hey, good morning, Judge. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing okay.
Okay, just didn't have my oatmeal this morning, but I did have my chicharrón and taco.
Oh,
But
hey, that's
anyhow-
always good.
Yes, ma'am. But anyhow, I'm here on,
Devin Soto.
yeah, okay, so what happened, Judge, is he had a case set for yesterday, and there was a bond forfeiture and an FTA, and then there's like 2 or 3 other co-defendants that you rescheduled for April the 8th of 2021. And then he found out from one of them that he was supposed to be in court, and he called me in the middle of the afternoon. You were in the hearing. We tried to Zoom in, and we were instructed that Mr. Soto appear live in your court. So he's there apparently, and that I Zoom in at 9 o'clock. So now I did confer with the prosecutor yesterday, obviously, because the client wasn't there. I could not talk to him, but I did talk to him about the proposal yesterday afternoon, and he wants a trial. And anyhow, so we're here on your instructions to reappear this morning, Judge.
All right, just give me one moment. And to the clerks, I'm sending back a Roscoe.
And Judge, Mr. Cruz, inmate Cruz 14L hasn't signed the certificate of appeal yet.
Mr. Cruz, you need to sign your documentation.
I got you, Mom. I got you. Hold up. Chill.
I'm not your mom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, first of all, I'm not your mother. I would have remembered. And if you were my son, you wouldn't be in custody.
I know that's right.
Yes, because you would have done what I would have told you to do. So,
Got you. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Mom, hey, I'm gonna be real with you.
Mr. Cruz is going to have problems today. Courtroom, is that Mr. Soto?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Soto, you didn't appear. Why were you not present?
I wasn't aware of court yesterday.
Do you have a different address?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, how are we supposed to know where you are if you don't give anyone your new address? Are we supposed to try to find you?
No, ma'am.
And what I have here is on January 7th, you were not in court.
Because I was gonna hop on Zoom, but they said my case was reset.
No one would have told you that. Because in January 7th was not a snow day. That I do know. All right, defense, what is happening with Mr. Devin Soto?
Judge, we've conferred with the ADA assigned to the case. I've explained the proposals that were given to me by Mr. Soto yesterday afternoon, and he's wanting a jury trial in this case, Judge. Now, I've reviewed some discovery. I think I need to probably file some standard motions on this case that so we probably request one last time to maybe make a plea agreement in this case before that window gets shut. But the client wants a jury trial at this time.
All right. Norma, on this case, I'm going to go ahead and recall the warrant, reinstate the bond, because I see this is your first time not appearing. And we're going to recall this, Mr. Soto.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, can we recall this the first week in April?
Judge, as I mentioned, I'm sorry to interrupt, Your Honor.
No problem.
It might be helpful for you to recall that on April the 8th, I think is when the co-defendants are also scheduled. So I didn't know if you were.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you. I thank you for bringing that up. Norma, can you set it for April 8th, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you on April 8th. And to the deputies in the courtroom, I'm going to recall the warrant and reinstate the bond.
Yes, Judge.
Judge, can my client and I be excused?
Well, he can't be excused until it's put in the system, but you're excused.
All right, Judge.
All right, thank you.
And Norma, the deputy, can you give him a reset letter so he knows when his next court date is, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And Norma, I'm sorry to ask you, there's a sheet there that he can sign for an updated address. I think you should have it there.
We got
Can
that.
you have him fill that out, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ruben.
Just to update you, Judge, I signed the plea paperwork from the DA's office. I still haven't received my certificate of appeal and application for deferred.
Okay. Thank you. All right, is there Christopher Simpkins here?
Yes, Judge, I am present.
Hi. See, I
Hi,
missed you
Judge.
because your video is not up. What is happening with Deborah Lund?
I was waiting for Frankie Ramirez to log in so we could, he was going to check on some discovery. I have some stuff that we need to file, but I wanted to make sure we had the complete set of discovery.
All right, who is Frankie Ramirez?
He's a special crime.
Is this okay? Do you know if anybody contacted him? I don't know if he knows to be here.
I'm not sure. Because it's not listed as a special.
Lund.
crime.
I'll follow up. I think I have his cell phone number.
All right, thank you.
Judge, if I may, I'm gonna go.
Yes.
I'm gonna go help my client sign the paperwork. Could you let Norma know I need the court documents?
Okay. Did you put it in the chat box to her? Because if you put it in the chat box to her, she will see it.
Okay. Then I'll do that right now, Judge.
All right. Just put it in the chat box what's needed, then she will take care of it.
I just did. She should have it.
Thank you. All right. Can I see Tony Arce? Tony Arce,
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
you need to show your video.
Okay, 1 second.
I'm sorry, just one moment. All right, Ms. Arce, I've been given a supplemental report on you. And so my understanding is I wanted a compliance hearing to see what's going on with you. They're saying that you're failing to submit for
No.
UAs.
No, ma'am, I've been submitting my UAs. It's just, she has me go on a day that I had previously told her that I could not make. I go on Fridays, and she said at first it was okay, and now it's not. And my schedule, I have proof of my schedule and my employment that I have to work on Thursdays. That's the day I work, and I work from the morning until the UA office is closed.
Well,
So
see, here's the thing. There's a reason why they want you to do a UA on different days, because you've been testing positive. For example, they're showing that you tested positive January 29th, 2021, that you didn't submit on January 28th, 2021, November 13th, 2020, August 20th, 2020,
They're saying I should be
Then
sensitive,
they
but
sent you for a UA on February 25th and you did not submit.
yes, I did submit. I submitted the next day, the next morning, like I told her, because
Now, here's the thing. It's not, oh, yes, I did submit. I submitted the next day. It's, you did not submit on February 25th.
and I have proof, email proof and everything telling her, ma'am, I cannot go on this date. Can I go at
Let me
8
ask you
a.m.?
this. I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you this. Can you work from the prison?
No, definitely not.
So you need to start making arrangements maybe with your employment.
Yeah.
Because this is a contract. And let me explain something to you. When you've agreed and you have a contract, maybe that person can work around your schedule, maybe they cannot work around your schedule. But it doesn't become, oh, well, I'll go to the next day, because then you're making your own schedule. So if this continues, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed against you. I'm going to sign it. A warrant is going to be issued for you. And we will have this hearing on your not reporting and your positive UAs from the Bexar County Jail. So, you are going to be tested today.
Can I say something? I have.
Before you say that, you're going to get tested today. Not tomorrow. It's going to be today. And it's going to be today by 3 p.m. And if you're not tested by today at 3 p.m., they're going to send me another motion, and it's not going to be for us to have a face-to-face on a compliance hearing. It's going to be us having a face-to-face for a motion to revoke, and for me to consider, one, whether or not you committed the new violation, and two, whether or not you should go to prison or be continued.
Okay, ma'am, may I speak?
Yes.
So this is the second probation officer that I've had. She's new. My prior probation officer, I had no problems with him. I have been submitting. She has been saying that I have been not submitting, but I have been, and I have proof. I have
You
proof.
just told me that you didn't show up and do your UA on the February 25th. You told me you did it the next day.
Yeah, that's the day that I went the next day. I didn't know that was failure to submit.
Yeah, that is. When you don't show up on a day when somebody tells you to show up, that's failure to submit. So like I'm telling you today to do a UA today, if you don't go do your UA today, guess what? It's failure to submit. Failure
Well, that's
to show.
again, like I'm saying, since I've committed this offense 2 years ago, my life has completely changed. I have my own, I'm a licensed technician now, lash technician. I have got a car. I've changed my whole life around. I've paid off my probation in full. If you want to go and look, I've done everything. I've finished all my community service hours. And I paid off my probation in full yesterday. So actually, I have been doing everything I was supposed to be doing. And I just asked her if she could do this one thing for me, because I don't have a reliable sitter right now. I have my kids with me, and I have to go to work. Actually, I'm supposed to be at work at 12:30. I had to tell my boss right now that I'm going to be late because I'm still in court. And it's actually been, I know I made a mistake. You know what I mean? I know, and I take full accountability. But I have changed my life around. I've completely grown through this experience. And the way when I talk to Miss Jane, I mean, she hangs up the Zoom appointment meeting in my face. And I'm like, she won't let me explain, look, I'm willing to take the UAs, but do you think
Here's the thing. This one rule I have. If somebody's going to talk disparagingly about somebody else, then that person should be really here, because then otherwise it's just you saying something and that person's not here. But this is what I'm telling you. You are going to have a UA today, and that UA is going to be done today by 3 p.m.
I mean, I don't see how that's possible. If I have my children, I have to go to work, I have to go drop them off, and I have to go to work. I have to.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you were not Zooming in here is a privilege. If you were not Zooming, you would be in court. So I'm telling you right now, you will have a UA done today by 3 p.m. Now, how you accomplish that is completely up to you, but I will have my UA today.
Can I go to any UA place? Like there's one near my
They will
job.
tell you where to do your UA.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna end up getting fired because.
Here's the thing. I don't know why you're acting as though your problems are somebody else's fault here. If you would have done what was asked of you, we wouldn't even be here. And guess what? I'm being kind enough to have a compliance hearing for you so that I can see what's going on, because as many missed appointments for testing as you've had and then testing positive, a warrant should be issued for your arrest on a motion to revoke. So I don't want to hear about your job, because guess what? Today is the day for court.
Okay.
So I'm going to send you to a breakout room.
Okay.
And probation will tell you where you need to go to do your UA, and you will provide a UA today. If you do not provide a UA, then a motion to revoke is going to be issued for your failure to go do your UA today. And you need to do that UA by 3 p.m. If you can do it before 3 p.m., do it before 3 p.m. But it's due today.
The place closes at 4:30. Would I be able to do it? Would I be able to do it by the time it closes, so that I can go and drop my kids off and make arrangements?
I told you that UA is due by 3 p.m. I don't know what else you don't understand.
Okay, but it's just that it was, I wasn't.
All right, you can go to breakout room number 1. Rebecca, if you meet her in breakout room number 1 and tell her where she needs to be.
Can I also say something else?
Yes.
I paid my probation in full yesterday, and I was just wondering when, I've been on probation for 2.5 years. When am I eligible for early termination?
Well, let me explain something to you. I don't know why people think that they commit an offense and paying money for it solves all the problems.
Well,
this is
no,
what I'm telling you right now. Why would let me ask you this. I keep an open mind about everything, but why would I let somebody off of probation early who's testing positive for drugs and who is not reporting to do their drug test on time, and who is on probation for abandoning a child with intent to return? Why would I do that? And that means that you are telling me that you have care of your children and you're testing positive. Please go to breakout room number 1. Probation will meet you there, and you are to do that UA by 3 today. Ms. Efron, you're here on Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, ma'am. And I did confer with the state. This discovery is just not complete yet, so we weren't able to get it done.
All righty. Thank you. All right, Mr. David Rodriguez, where are you?
I'm here, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rodriguez, I have a violation report on you. Have you enrolled in Scram?
No, ma'am. We actually were here on the last violation, and I thought we had cleared it because when we had talked about it before we got out of court, I had let them know, and I let my pretrial know that I didn't have the money for it because I was out of work.
Judge, if I may, we appeared previously because I think there was a concern about whether or not he had ignition interlock on his car. So I think there was a Scram order entered because ignition interlock had not been installed yet. He has managed to get ignition interlock installed now and is in compliance. So I don't know if the court still wants a Scram or not. If I understood and if my memory serves me correctly, the Scram was ordered because ignition interlock was not in place.
Yes, that was. So he can have one or the other, either ignition interlock or either Scram.
Okay. At this time, my understanding is he has ignition interlock installed in place and is compliant.
Mr. Rodriguez, do you have ignition interlock installed?
Yes, ma'am. I had that on the last date. Everything's been in there. We've had some issues, not on our behalf, with the interlock, and I've let Lifesaver know They've been resolved as of right now, but there hasn't been no violations on us, nothing. There's on me. There hasn't been anything, other than the I guess the defect of the machine or something, but it's already been
Okay.
resolved, but it's been in there.
All right, so then on this order, I'll just say continue with drug alcohol testing, random, and ignition interlock,
Okay.
and with no alcohol use.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Your excuse. Thank you for your patience.
Of course.
Thank you very much. Have
All
a
right,
good
thank
day.
you. Have a good one. All right, let me see if we have the paperwork on anyone else. John Kuntz, you're back.
Yes, Judge. Tom and I were able to confer. This is on Trey Duncan. He had some GPS violations, Judge.
Yes.
And so Norma was kind enough to squeeze us in today so we could address them.
Yes.
Trey is on. I saw him earlier on the Zoom. There, I see Trey Duncan there.
All right, so what is going on?
Judge, this defendant was on full GPS last June. It was modified to partial, very selective inclusion zones for work last November. We hashed it all out in front of the court. And then there are some bond GPS inclusion zone violations for pockets of time across 2 days. Let me just scroll down and make sure it's March 5th and 6th. And GPS has actually given us pretty detailed reports of where the monitor was registering. It's a fairly large area. And so defense has a proffer, an explanation for that. But the state's position is like, it's a strict liability thing. You were given agreed permission for your partial. Like, we take a chance on you, we say, okay, that's fine. And then you abuse it. So I don't necessarily think increasing his bond amount is an appropriate punishment, but I would defer to the court for some type of progressive sanction punishment that fits the violation or the privilege that's given in this case.
All right.
And that's all from the state.
Trey Duncan, you need to show your video.
Judge, Officer Tattles here from pretrial as well. I was requesting.
All right, thank you. Trey Duncan, show your video.
He struggles with this before, Judge. Hold on.
All right, and to the clerks in the back, I did send some paperwork back.
Yes, Judge, I received it.
All right, thank you. Who is it on, Jessica? And I'll send them to a breakout room.
I need to swear in Jose Aguilar and Frank Erazo.
All right, Frank Erazo is in number 3. I'll send you to number 3. And Arovalo, if you will go to 3, please.
Judge.
All right, Trey Duncan, could you unmute yourself, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and we're going to go on the record. Brenda, you ready? Court is calling 2020 CR 6711, State of Texas versus Trey Duncan. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Tom Nisbet for the state.
For the defense?
John Kuntz for Mr. Duncan.
Are you Trey Duncan?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state?
None, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Duncan, you have any objections with us for appearing by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, we're here because the court is in receipt of a first violation report. And that violation report is as it relates to a violation of GPS. Have both parties had a chance to review the report?
Yes, from the state.
Yes.
Right. And we did have a conversation off the record. So this is the question that the court wants answered. I want answered why Mr. Duncan should just not go back to being on full house arrest.
Well, I know, Judge, this is a tough one for you to consider. I think poor Trey has been on this GPS now for 8 or 9 months now. And if you'll look and see, even on the pretrial violation report, it states that at least one time he was going to the Via Trans, the Randolph Park and Ride, I'm sorry. What Trey has told me is that he had been giving a friend or friends rides back from the bus stop, basically. And if you'll notice the times of the movement, Judge, between basically about 2 in the afternoon and 8 at night, or even before 8 at night. So these aren't middle of the night type, up to no good type things. He went to a gas station. I believe he went to a Bill Miller. I'm not saying that these are excuses for his behavior, Judge, but I don't think that there's any indication he's been up to anything nefarious or illegal or anything like that. It's just he made a terrible decision to leave his home a couple of times on those days. And he'll do whatever, he'll comply with whatever terms you want. Trey's a very, very nice young man, despite the charge that he's facing, sounding so serious. It's a very nice young man, and Tom and I continue to confer on this case. And I do believe that this is his first violation while he's been on bond for close to a year.
Mr. Duncan,
Yes, ma'am.
do you want to wait at the Bexar County Jail in custody until we hear your case?
No, ma'am.
So when you go outside of the inclusion zone for GPS, that's a problem. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's some place that you need to be, why don't you pick up the phone and call your GPS officer or call Officer Tatlow and say, I just received a phone call. My mom is at the bus station or my cousin is at the bus station. May I just go to the bus station to pick them up? How hard is that? Why do people not communicate?
Yes, ma'am. I tries to call Tatlow all the time, ma'am. It's like, and I leave him a message and
Here's
he
the
never
thing.
gets back.
Here's the thing.
Yes,
You need
ma'am. I
to
hear
call or email. Do you understand?
you. Yes, ma'am. I hear you.
And what I'm telling you right now is I don't want to see another violation report. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
And we were off the record. Is anyone requesting a bond increase or anything of that nature?
Judge, I don't think a bond increase is appropriate in this case. Just whatever the court sees as appropriate for GPS maintenance, progressive sanctions, we defer to the court.
Okay. All right, Mr. Duncan, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue you on the same conditions because this is your first violation. And I know that sometimes people get a little lax with the violations. I'm sorry, lax with GPS where they say, well, I'm just going to the Bill Miller. Everybody can see it's Bill Miller. Or I'm just going to the HEB. Everybody sees I'm going to the HEB. But Mr. Duncan, you need to stay vigilant on obeying the conditions of bond. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
All right. So whenever you need to go somewhere, you need to email Mr. Tatlow and you need to call him.
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, just so we can be real clear with my client on the Zoom right now, he is permitted to work currently. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. So
he's on partial GPS.
He just needs to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Mr. Tatlow, you're working. I'm sorry, Mr. Tatlow, you have documentation that he's employed, correct?
No, he said he's currently not employed. Right now he has a 4-hour schedule to go find employment, Monday through Friday.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Monday.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I've been trying to go to work with my dad. So like I was trying to get another job because I works with him whenever he has work.
Time out, Mr. Duncan. This is what the court is gonna do. Monday through Friday, he's allowed to look for work. His curfew will be 5 p.m. until he finds employment. So he will be able to look for work until 5 p.m.
Schedule for
Yes, ma'am.
Saturday and Sunday, you're not allowed to leave your home. You're on full lockdown. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Unless he gets a job that requires him to work on the weekends, Judge?
Yes.
Okay.
Once Officer Tadlow, once he obtains employment, then he will be allowed to go outside of the curfew window as long as he's at work.
Yes, ma'am. One question. Nate,
Yes.
Mr. Duncan is scheduled to be at his bail bonds on Fridays, but as of late, Mr. Duncan has been tending to forget to go to the bail bond, so he leaves on Saturdays, not scheduling an appointment to go to the bail bonds on Saturday when he's already scheduled on Fridays. He's been doing this.
Well, here's the thing. Saturday and Sunday, he's not allowed to leave his home.
Okay. I just want to
So
make
you
sure.
understand that, Mr. Duncan?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And you need to let your bail bondsman, you're not allowed to leave your home on Saturday and Sunday.
Because if it wasn't for him going to the bail bond on Saturday, that technically would have been a violation according to my supervisor, but she gave him a chance. That's why this one's the first violation, not a second violation.
All right, Mr. Duncan, you're not allowed to leave the home on Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, ma'am, I understand clearly.
All right, I'll send you all to a breakout room with your officer so you can make sure you have all his information. I'll send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you
And
very
Mr.
much.
And Mr. Coots, I'll send you to breakout room number 1, and then you are excused.
Thank you so much. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your Honor, may I approach the bench?
Yes.
And Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you put Ruben and his client in a breakout room?
Yes. Just one moment. And everyone, that should be all the work on Rosa. Ruben, who is your client? Izagiri?
Izagiri, yes, ma'am.
Mr. Izagiri, what breakout room are you in? All right, he's in number 2. I'll move you to number 2, Ruben.
Thank you.
And if you go to 2, please. And I think I have all the paperwork on Rosa. And guys, we're going to take a break shortly.
Yeah, when you have a moment, I'm trying to approach on a bond, or setting a bond.
All right, just give me a moment because we have to finish our docket that's actually scheduled today.
May I say something, please? If the judge is there?
Yes, Miss Lund?
I've been sitting here for 3 hours. And I sat in your courtroom for 4 hours.
So what are you trying to say?
I understood that you're going to take a break and go to lunch, or?
Here's the thing. You need to be talking to your attorney about that.
I do.
And
I called
him. And that's your attorney, right?
Yeah, I called him.
Yeah, so the court waits for your attorney to appear. I don't know why you act as though somehow this is my fault, and you're telling me you sat in my courtroom for 3 hours and now you've been on the Zoom for 9. How long do you think I've been here? How long do you think the court reporter has been here? And yes, I am taking a break. I am taking a 5 minutes break because I've been here from 9 to 12. And actually, I started my day here in court at 8 a.m. So yes, I deserve to take a 5-minute break.
I didn't understand. Hello? All I want to do is enter a plea of not.
So if you want to look, because that one will be available until.
All right, who are the parties on Frank Arazo?
That's my case, Judge Suzanne Kramer.
All right, Mr. Arazo, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling 2017 CR 4321 and 2020 CR 3945, State of Texas versus Frank Arazo. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Gordon Brown for the state.
For the defense?
Suzanne Kramer for Mr. Arazo.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No objection from the state.
None from the defense, Judge.
Mr. Arazo, on each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you electronically sign them?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. And cause number 2020 CR 3945, defense, I'm showing you a document entitled Acknowledgement of Discovery. Have you
Yes, ma'am.
received all the discovery in this case, defense? And did you review that discovery with your client?
Yes, I did, Judge. Yesterday for quite a while and in ICS and again today.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Rosa, I'm showing you a document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge. We're proceeding only on count 1 and waiving count 2.
No objection to that, Judge.
All right, Mr. Arosa, I'm showing you a document entitled Court's Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with in count 1 is possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. That's a first-degree felony. The
Yes,
range
ma'am.
of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Judge.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
He was, yes.
Mr. Rosa, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
No, ma'am.
And Judge, I have gone over all of that with him. He is very well aware that deportation will occur. He says that he actually owns a house in Mexico and he really has no intention of coming back, but he is aware that that is going to be the end result of this.
All right, Mr. Rosa, did your attorney advise you of the consequences of pleading no contest or guilty in the application of federal immigration law?
Yes, ma'am.
Did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion
ma'am.
from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand the immigration consequences of entering a plea in this cause number?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on count 1 only. Punishment is to be assessed at 7 years in the prison. There's no application for community supervision or deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with 2017 CR 4321. State will take in consideration 2020 CR 3945, JN number 1951529. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offense is charged in count 1. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
Yes, Judge. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and attachments.
Any objections?
No, Judge. We have gone through all of that and we have no objection.
Mr. Rosa, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand today that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. After reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Court will follow your plea bargaining agreement, sentence you to 7 years in the prison. This will run concurrent with 2017 CR 4321, take in consideration 2020 CR 3945, JN number 1951529, and give you credit for any time served. Mr. Arosa, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you 2017 CR 4321, document entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Francisco C. Arazo Molina, who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2017
Yes,
CR
ma'am.
4321 for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on June 12, 2017 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 1 on or about the 7th day of January 2020 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Francisco C. Arazzo Molina, committed the offense of possession of controlled substance, PG1, in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State waives the remaining allegations.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
None, Judge.
And defense, did you go over the conditions of, well, the consequences of entering a plea of true as it relates to his immigration status?
Absolutely, Judge.
All right, Mr. Arazo, did your attorney advise you of the consequences of pleading true in the application of federal immigration law?
Yes, ma'am.
And did that advice include possible consequences such as deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States, or the denial of naturalization?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you understand the consequences of entering a plea of true as it relates to your immigration status?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you also understand with the plea of true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is a recommendation.
Yes, Judge. The agreed recommendation is that the motion be granted, that a sentence of 7 years TDCJ be assessed, and that be run concurrently with 2020 CR 3946.
That is the agreement, Judge.
Mr. Arosa, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the court, as previously stated, is finding violation of condition number 1 true. The court will grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, sentence you to 7 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. This will run concurrent with cause number 2020 CR 3946. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Rosa, good luck to you.
Judge, I would just like to say for the record, because he was concerned, the jail credit is not going to show the credit. He's been in continuous custody since January of 2020, but he served a year of that in federal custody on a federal illegal reentry and detainer case. So he's going to provide the TDC coordinator with that cause number just to make sure that he gets credit for that time served. He just wanted to make sure that that was in the record somewhere.
Yes, and he will receive credit for any time that he's been in custody. And if he was in federal custody, he'll receive credit for that.
Thank
yes,
you, ma'am.
thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
may
you.
we be excused?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Am I excused, ma'am?
Yes, they'll have a deputy come remove you.
All right, thank you.
All right, Hector Garza, who is the case? What is the case you have?
I'm sorry, Judge, are you talking to me?
Everybody everybody always wants to do the taxi driver line. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Who do you have?
Let me give you the calls number. It's a 2010 case. I had it up and I lost it.
I'm sorry, Judge, we're done with 14B, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Of course, now that I need it, I can't find it.
All right, let us know when you get it. Jessica, do you have the paperwork on Mr. Izagari and Gabriel Cruz?
Cruz, I'm still waiting for, let me see, I think I might have it in my email. Cruz, I'm still waiting for the certificate of appeal.
Your Honor, if I could, I believe that's already been signed. Received an email. It
I'll try
shows.
to send it to the printer, Jessica, for you.
Okay.
All right, awesome.
I have the cause number, Judge.
All right, what is the cause number?
Cause number is 2010 CR 0936 A as in Alpha. Last name is Avila.
And this is for some bond issue?
I'll grab it.
There was a motion to revoke that was issued out, remanded without bond. She was picked up in just outside of Houston. She lives on the outer edge of Houston. And
All right, if you go to breakout room, a prosecutor will meet you there to confer with you.
thank you.
Your Honor, may I approach the bench just for a moment?
Yes.
I received an email and it says the trial court's right of appeal. It says State of Texas versus Mark Orozco, but it is signed by Gabriel Cruz.
Ah.
That's the confusion.
Okay. All righty. All righty.
So he did sign it, but it's filled out incorrectly at the top.
Okay. Let me see.
I mean, the case number is just the name that's.
Okay. All right, so, okay. Well, and we're ready on Mr. Cruz then. All right, Gabriel Cruz.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 2134W, State of Texas versus Gabriel Cruz. We're going to have parties announced for the record, please, for the state.
Marcus Sanders for the state.
For the defense.
Alma Benavides for Mr. Cruz.
All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No objection.
No objection.
Mr. Cruz, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendants Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review it with your client?
Yes.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Cruz, I'm showing you a document entitled Waiver of Indictment, Reading of Information and Rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to have a grand jury hear the evidence in this case and make a decision on whether or not to indict?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that your attorney has certain rights, namely 2 days from the presentation of the information and 10 days from the presentation of the information to prepare for trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived indictment, reading of information and rights under Article 1.051 and 26.03 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Information. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the information?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the information as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Cruz, I'm showing you court's admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places? Mr. Cruz,
Yes, ma'am.
did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is theft under $2,500 enhanced? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a
Yes, ma'am.
$10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call them the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes,
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is.
Mr. Cruz, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting 1 year in the state jail facility. There are no applications. These were run concurrent with 2021 CR 1428B, and the state will take in consideration CM number 82062. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled waiver appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, in the information, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the plea.
Yes, the state offer states Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Cruz, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call them the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. And if I can see parties in the breakout room, please. What breakout room were you in, Alma? 1. If I could see you in 2, and Marcus, if you could meet us in 2, please.
All right.
All right. Yeah, me too.
Oh, I'm tired.
that it would work. Don't get scared, Oscar, even though Chris has the measuring tape up.
Mr. Cruz.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're back on the record.
Okay.
After reviewing state exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, we are, Your Honor.
All right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement, sentence you to 1 year in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. Take into consideration CM number 82062. This will run concurrent with 2021 CR 1428B.
Okay.
Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Cruz.
Hey, Miss.
Yes.
Hey, Miss, you about the nicest judge I've ever seen. Is a lot of these people are retarded, right? Like, fucking
Okay.
stupid. All right, thank you, ma'am.
All right, have a good day. All right, the court is going to call 2019.
May I be excused?
Yes, you're excused. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
All right, court is calling 2019 CR 11202, State of Texas versus Jose Damian Izaguirre. Could I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Joey Garcia for the state.
And for the defense?
Ruben Flores for Mr. Izaguirre.
Mr. Izaguirre, could you unmute for me, please? All right, we're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objections to us proceeding by video? State?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Izaguirre, I'm showing you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea, I'm sorry. The court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you an application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. To review that document with your attorney, did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Izaguirre, I'm showing you a document entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney, and did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Izaguirre, I'm showing you what's entitled Court's Admonishment and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with is assault felony second? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, the right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
You believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zagari, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, very satisfied.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page, did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, there's a $1,000 fine that's to be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. The state will withdraw the motion to revoke and cause number 524365. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Marisol Cruz Vinton. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
And did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counselor, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 3 years and there be 60 hours community service restitution in the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea?
State offers to take Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Izagiri, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you have a chance to review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to
Yes, ma'am.
confront any witnesses the state would call on the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court has accepted into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court has reviewed the same. Court will find there is sufficient evidence to find the defendant guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as the defendant has applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
With the court's permission, yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, we just simply ask that the court follow the plea bargain.
All right, Mr. Izagiri, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
9 and 7.
And do they live with Miss Vinton or no?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to a $1,000 fine that'll be probated, 3 years deferred adjudication. Withdraw the motion in common court cause number 524365. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Marisol Cruz Vinton, the BIPP course, 80 hours of community service restitution, parenting classes with compadre y compadre, CPS compliance if applicable, proof of employment within 30 days of release, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, random and regular UAs, All right, is there anything else that you need in order to be successful on this probation, Mr. Izagiri?
Ma'am.
Probation, does he need anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, and Mr. Izagiri, sometimes people forget, but in those conditions of probation, you must support your dependents. And your dependents are your children, because you can't just leave them in a field and tell them to go fend for themselves. They depend on you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not allowed to drink any alcohol while you're on this probation.
No, ma'am.
And that no contact order, that means no contact. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Very well.
Showing you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you have a chance to review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And as a part of your employment, you are not allowed to work with any vulnerable persons. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, I'll send you to a breakout room. I'll send you to breakout room number 1, and probation will go over conditions with you.
Okay.
And Mr. Flores, you're excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Mr. Simpkins, I'll see you back here at 2 o'clock for your client.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. At 2 o'clock, Ms. Lawn.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Hector, is there an agreement on your case?
There is, Judge. We agreed to a $30,000 bond.
That's correct, Judge. Do you want us to send in an email or?
Yes, if you could, please.
Okay, yeah, I forgot to tell him that. I'm gonna send you my email address, Hector. Just send an email to me. Or actually send me your email address. I'll send an email to the court and yourself confirming the amount.
All right.